Hello viewers, welcome to Telugu One Academy. We are discussing fundamental rights and we are discussing Article 21. Article 21, as we said, is an important article, Trinity, that is Golden Trinity, with Article 14, 19, 21. These three form the Golden Trinity. So Article 21, that is protection of life and personal liberty. As we said, life is not just breathing. Life అంటే మామూలుగా ఒక శ్వాస తీసుకోవడం కానీ ఒక ఇన్యాక్టివ్ లైఫ్ని లీడ్ చేయడము అది లైఫ్ అనము. సో వీ హ్యావ్ అ వెరీ లార్జర్ స్కోప్ గివెన్ ఫర్ లైఫ్. లైఫ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ just having a vegetative life. Life is, as we have discussed, it should be lived in a free manner, in an independent manner, happily, with various things. And Constitution says that life here is not just living a vegetative life. So here in doctrine of public trust, life here is very larger in scope. To live a life, we need to have a very good environment. That is, the environment where we live should be clean, should not be polluted. That is, we have a right to have a pure air. That is, no pollution, sound pollution, air pollution, water pollution. We have a right to have a safe and pure drinking water. We have a right to have a good roads. We have a right to have a shelter, to have a free legal aid. As these things makes a life living worthfully. So life here is not just living, it should be lived with dignity, with morality and all. So this in MC Mehta versus Kamalnath case, Supreme Court has said that the water, the environment should be pure. So in many cases, even we have seen in Maneka Gandhi case, we have a right to move anywhere. We have the right to go to abroad and also to speak there. So the fundamental right, that is right to freedom of speech and expression, is not only valid in this country, but you can go abroad also, and when you are in abroad can also speak your mind, you can speak your heart. So the right to speak, the right to express is valid not only in this country but when you go abroad also. That is what given in Maneka Gandhi case. In various judgments, the Supreme Court has added various things in strengthening this article, that is Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. You can demand a government for providing safe drinking water. You can demand a government for providing electricity. You can demand a government also to provide good roads, health, education, good environment for children to play, public parks, all these amenities which adds life to this article, that is life and personal liberty. So here when we discuss section 309 of Indian Penal Code, this section punishes suicide or punishes attempt for suicide. So if any person decides to suicide, that is take his life, that is illegal. So section 309 punishes such person. But when we talk about this, when a person decides to end his life, there may be many reasons for that. Maybe in full depression a person decides to end his life, and when he has attempt to suicide, it is not crime on part of his action. So he should not be punished because he is in depression and he wanted to end his life. He should not be again tortured by police. So Supreme Court has said that IPC 309 is against natural justice and it should be repealed. Right to live with human dignity. As we said, life living is not just living. That life should have a meaning, should have a dignified life. The livelihood should be a motivation to others. So in various cases, Supreme Court time and again has revisited this article and said that life is not just living a vegetative life, it should have a meaningful life. It should have a colorful life. Every natural thing should be enjoyed. So, in many cases, for example, if we take euthanasia, Karunya Maranam, when a person could not live with dignity, such person can end his life. So when we talked about IPC 309, which punishes suicide, and here in euthanasia, for example, a person who is on a treatment, that is medical treatment, cannot live with dignity, such person could end his life because there may be no chances of their living. This case was, the Supreme Court has discussed this case extensively. In Aruna Shanbag case, Aruna Shanbag was a nurse, and she has been brutally raped, and she was in coma for many years, and she decided, like the Pinky Virani, who is a journalist, took this case, and the question before the court is, give permission to end her life. So there was an extensive study on this case regarding euthanasia. Here, Supreme Court said that life is not just living, it should be lived with dignity. So in Aruna Shanbag case, when she has been in a vegetative state, that is under coma for 42 years, what is the dignity in her life? She could be given permission to end her life. So this is one case where Supreme Court has decided on protection of life and liberty. We also have a case, Naz Foundation. Naz Foundation versus Delhi. This case is about lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender. So this section is also important. Here life is to choose their life is one of the freedom, to choose the way a person could live their life. So here in this case also, Supreme Court has done away with all those punishable sections under which a person who has different sexual preferences are punished. So Supreme Court has also ordered the government to do away with such provisions under our sections, be it CRPC or IPC. So like this we have many cases. In one of the case, for example, in Common Cause versus Union of India 2018, withdrawal of treatment. That is, if a person knows that he could not be living in future because he was on treatment and there are very minimal chance of his cure, so then he can ask for withdrawal of the treatment. If a treatment is withdrawn or there is no medication, then that person will die. So it's a voluntary asking to a state or any agency to let that person die. If doctor knows that this person cannot be cured, he is beyond the curing or any treatment will not work on him, then the doctor can go for withdrawal of treatment. So that is a life with dignity and death with dignity. He can have the right, he has the right to die with dignity. So these are the cases which strengthens protection of life and personal liberty. Here in Kunal Sahu versus Advanced Medical Care, and Research Center, Kolkata, it's in hospital. We have a case, Kunal Sahu case. Here, in this case, the Supreme Court has said that the hospital shouldn't act negligence, that is, the negligence of staff, doctor, or any medical staff. Because of their negligent behavior, if a patient dies, then the compensation should also paid by such hospital. When we talk about compensation, that compensation may not worth a life. ఒక ప్రాణానికి విలువ ఉండదు. ఈ కేసులో కునాల్ సాహు కేసులో కునాల్ సాహు భార్యని హాస్పిటల్లో జాయిన్ చేశారు, కానీ ఆ గవర్నమెంట్ హాస్పిటల్ నెగ్లిజెన్స్ వల్ల తన ప్రాణం కోల్పోయింది. సో ఈ కేసులో కోర్ట్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ 11.5 crores రూపీస్ హాస్పిటల్ మీద కంపెన్సేషన్ ఇవ్వాలని ఆర్డర్ ఇచ్చింది. This amount is larger amount, and we can say that this amount is not equal to the life, but there should be a thing where the hospital should manage, or they should function in such a way that there should be no negligence from their part to save a patient's life. Now we have seen in many hospitals, corporate hospitals, government hospitals, or any health centers, where due to the negligence of doctor or medical staff or improper treatment or giving wrong medicines, patient dies. So what is the freedom of life there? How we could have a protection of life in such cases? So because to have a pressure, that is to make hospitals more vigilant, more friendly to the patients, court has ordered to pay 11 crores compensation in this case. Though we can say that this amount will not get that life back, but on part of the hospital, they have to be more vigilant. They cannot just be negligent, which causes a life. So this is the case in Kunal Sahu versus AMC Kolkata in 2013. This case reiterates that hospitals or management shouldn't be more negligent way. They should be more protective towards any patient, irrespective of their social status. We also have a case, that is Save Life Foundation versus Union of India. Before this case, we have seen that if any road accident occurs and if any person brings that person or that patient to the hospital, the person who has brought such person or patient to the hospital should give his personal information, or he should also be asked by the police to come to the police station and tell all the things, how the accident happened and what was the surroundings there. This has made many person to not stop at that place and just go away. So due to this stringent things, many persons have lost their life due to road accidents. Supreme Court said in this Save Life Foundation that no person should be forcefully said to come to the police station or give their personal information. They can admit that patient to the hospital just telling their basic information such as their name and small things, and they can go to their own destination. So this judgment of Supreme Court is a way to save many lives when any road accidents occur. మనం చాలా సందర్భాల్లో చూస్తుంటాము, రోడ్డు మీద యాక్సిడెంట్స్ అవుతుంటాయి. అక్కడ నుంచి వెళ్ళే వేరే ఇతరులు కానివ్వండి, ఆ యాక్సిడెంట్ అయిన పర్సన్ని హాస్పిటల్కి తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి భయపడతారు. ఎందుకంటే అలాంటి రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి మనకి. ఆ పర్సన్ ఎవరైతే హాస్పిటల్కి తీసుకెళ్తారో వాళ్ళని కూడా వాళ్ళ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తీసుకోవడం కానీ, వాళ్ళని పర్సనల్గా పోలీస్ స్టేషన్కి రమ్మని చెప్పడం కానీ జరిగేది. ఈ జడ్జిమెంట్ తర్వాత సుప్రీంకోర్టు అలాంటివి చెల్లదని చెప్పింది. సో ఆ పర్సన్, ఆ పేషెంట్ ఎవరైతే గాయపడ్డారో రోడ్డు మీద యాక్సిడెంట్లో, అతన్ని నియరెస్ట్ హాస్పిటల్కి తీసుకెళ్ళచ్చు, అంబులెన్స్కి ఫోన్ చేయొచ్చు వితౌట్ గివింగ్ దేర్ ఐడెంటిటీ ఆర్ వితౌట్ గోయింగ్ టు ద పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ ఇన్ ఫర్దర్ థింగ్స్. So this is also an important case which has strengthened the Article 21, that is we can protect our life. So that is Article 21. We also have an important article, that is Article 21A. In many judgments of the Supreme Court, we also say that we have a right to life, and a right to life is living a life with dignity, living a life with all such factors which could make a person independent, which could make a person creative and helps in the development of the society and to the nation. So when we say right to education, suppose if a person is not educated, what is the meaning of life? For example, if a illiterate person doesn't know anything, he may not enjoy the life fully. So educated person knows the things. He can know what fundamental rights are, what is directive principles of state policy, how he could question the government in some cases. So a basic education is a necessity for a dignified life. Because of this, we have made this right to education as a fundamental right. Before that, we had this right to education in directive principles of state policy. That is, it was not enforceable in court. Any person who is deprived of his education cannot go to court saying that I lost my education, I have deprived of my fundamental rights then. But now in Article 21A, we have amended this and made right to education a fundamental right. Now any person under the age of 6 to 14 is not provided with education, elementary education or secondary education, can move the court. That is, we have free and compulsory education. It is the duty of the state to provide free education for the people between age of 6 to 14. This is a fundamental right, and for this many steps have been taken by the state. 6 నుంచి 14 వయసులో ఉన్న పిల్లలు ఖచ్చితమైన విద్య అది ఫ్రీలో ఉండాలి. వారికి ఉచిత విద్య ఉండాలి, ఉచిత స్కూల్ కూడా వాళ్ళ ప్రిమిసెస్కి దగ్గరలో ఉండాలి. సో వీ హ్యావ్ మెనీ సచ్ థింగ్స్. వీ హ్యావ్ గివెన్ దిస్ right to education a reality after we have brought many laws. We have Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. We have Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, where it is compulsory to get enrolled by the students between the age of 6 to 14. Under this, we have midday meal scheme, where the state will provide free food, midday meal scheme. The state, that is the government schools, will also provide free food, free uniform, and give all those supportive things like books and other stationery things, so that the parents will send their children to the schools. So here Article 21A makes it mandatory for any parent to send their wards to the school, and if not, they will be punished for that. Earlier in Article 45 of DPSP, it was mentioned that right to education, but now it has been included in fundamental right. If any person is deprived of this right, Supreme Court will interfere and acts to protect the right to education. So Article 21A is important. It will improve the quality of the citizen. That is, when the person in this age group is educated, he would definitely adds to the growth of the society. So that basic education will definitely, I may not say that everyone will become professionals in their life, but that basic education will definitely improve the standard of living, quality of life, and their family also. So, for their growth of their family, definitely education will help. And this also been there in fundamental duties. In fundamental duty, that is in Article 51A, it is mandatory that the parent should provide their children with such environment where they can study, they can grow both physically and mentally. So, it is the duty of the parent. Okay, though it is not a fundamental right, but every parent should provide their children with such an opportunity or environment so that they can study. The children can study, and before the age of 6, that is when they are kids, they should be provided with nutritious food for their mental and physical development. So even parents should feel that it is not only government which provides with free schooling, free books, free food, it is also the duty of that parent to provide such facilities so that they could be healthier mentally and stronger physically, so that they could learn. So this article is also important to improve the literacy rate of our nation, which is very poor compared to our neighboring countries. So in this, it is also mandatory to form school management committees, and not only government schools, మనకు ప్రైవేట్ స్కూల్స్లో కూడా 25% ఆఫ్ ద సీట్స్ ఇది అండర్ ప్రివిలేజ్డ్ చిల్డ్రన్స్కి కల్పించాలి. సో 25% సీట్స్ అనేది ఏ స్కూల్లో, ప్రైవేట్ స్కూల్లో కానివ్వండి, 25% అనేది పూర్ పీపుల్కి కోటా అది రిజర్వ్ చేసి పడింది, అది కంపల్సరీ యాడ్లో ఉంటుంది మనకు ఆ యాక్ట్లో. సో టీచర్ స్టూడెంట్ రేషియో అనేది 1:30 ఉండాలి. ప్రతి 30 మంది స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఒక టీచర్ ఉండాలి, అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ ఉండకూడదు. సో స్టూడెంట్స్ ఎక్కువ మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉంటే ఆ సూపర్విజన్ అనేది ప్రాబ్లం అయిపోతుంది, ఫోకస్ అనేది తగ్గిపోతుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ మ్యాండేటరీ దట్ వీ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ అ రేషియో ఆఫ్ 1:30. And as I said, private school also should create 25% of the seats reserved for the children who cannot afford. That is, they should be given seats without charging any fee. So this act makes not only the government schools but also private schools, because we have in private schools they may be near to a village or near to a town where the government school may not be in that area. So private schools should also make it mandatory to give free education for the people. That is what we say, it is the social responsibility of that school, because 75% they will charge fee, and it's very nominal that the 25% of the fee, 25% of the seats in the school are given for free. So this is one thing. And in this schooling or in this entire program of be Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan or free books, free schools and all, the sharing of amount is 65:35 by the center and state, by central government and the state government. We also have to establish a national commission for elementary education under this act, so that this act is implemented in a more rational and more practical manner. So we have all those laws which makes this article a true article which builds the life of people so that they could have a beautiful life. As I again say, life without education, life without shelter, life without good health, life without basic amenities like clean drinking water, pure air, nice parks, good road, there is no life. So life with dignity is important here when we say we have right to life and right to personal liberty. So Article 21A adds life to this article by providing free education and compulsory education. We have an act, Right to Education Act, which has passed in 2009, and this act has been implemented from April 1st, 2010. Remember, this was a question in prelims. April 1st, 2010 was the year from where this act has been implemented. So this act, since its implementation, have made many changes. We can say that the literacy rate has increased, but we also worried about the quality of education. When we say free and compulsory education, the government should also have access, the government should evaluate the functioning of the system. There should be quality education. It's not free. The education should be quality education, and the student who have completed his secondary education should be able to do at least some work voluntarily, or there should be a vocational training for them so that they could become a part of labor system. That is, they will become a part of earning. So we should have both quality and which should match, it should match the market of the country. So we have seen this case in Mohini Jain versus Karnataka regarding education.